Welcome back, everyone. A local legend back in NEPA after winning his first career Super Bowl as an NFL coach, Vic Fangio. And we had a chance to spend some time with the Philly coordinator at his old stomping grounds.
And it won't be easy going against this Vic Fangio defense. #1 defense all year long. They've been great again tonight.
38 years after taking his first NFL coaching job with the New Orleans Saints, Vic Fangio wins his first Super Bowl at the Superdome, while coaching for his lifelong favorite team, the Philadelphia Eagles.
To finally achieve that, and I think I realize it more and more each day than maybe right when it happened.
Nearly 3 weeks after hoisting the Lombardi trophy, Fangio returned home to Dunmore, catching up with some family and old teammates, experiencing the new Fieldhouse on Dunmore's campus, and spreading some wisdom to the current Bucks players.
I'll come back and see my mother, who's still living in the same house that I grew up in. She just turned 98 a couple days ago. See other family members, friends, go to Rignacci's and have my favorite food there. It's nice. It's always good to come home, and now that it's just 2 hours away, I'll be back here more often.
Fangio's defense put on one of the most memorable performances in Super Bowl history, sacking Patrick Mahomes a career-high 6 times and keeping the Chiefs scoreless until the final minute of the third quarter. But it was Cooper DeJean's birthday pick 6 that was the highlight of the night, and Fangio takes some credit for speaking it into existence.
He hadn't had an interception yet as a rookie. I told him he was going to get one in this game. I didn't know he'd be a pick 6, but kind of fooled Mahomes a little bit on it, and he stepped in there, got it, and he's a punt returner, so he's a good runner when he does get the ball in his hands.
Eagles fans have great respect for the job Fangio's done with this defense, but what's also admired is his character, becoming a fan favorite in Philadelphia, and even at the parade featuring over 1 million people, Fangio, he still had time to spend with some hardcore followers.
They had my picture on these sticks, big picture, so I got off the bus and went over there and spent some time with them. It's a great parade route going all the way down Broad Street, so it's kind of like it was made for it.
Fangio's always strive for perfection, even calling a team meeting after giving up 22 points to the Chiefs. But that mentality comes from the late, great Jack Henzes, who Fangio makes sure to instill in his own work each and every day.
He would just be really proud and happy, and I think those would be his overwhelming feelings.
That's all for sports. We'll be right back.
It's happened. Have you processed the season and process that you're a Super Bowl winning coach?
Yeah, it's very satisfying, after all these years, to finally achieve that. And I think I realize it more and more each day than maybe right when it happened.
Take me through the season. How did you see the defense just improve every week? And when did you know that they could be really, really good?
Well, early on we had a game or two where we didn't play quite as well as we could have, but we steadily improved throughout the year, and I think we hit a streak there where, we gave up less than 300 yards for like eight or 9 games in a row there. So, we just started playing really good. The guys improved weekly, which is what you're looking for as a coach. They really bought into what we were doing, and we figured out as coaches what style best fit our players, factoring in who we were playing each and every week, and the guys did a really good job.
Obviously, it was a defense that struggled big time before you took over last year. What were some of overcoming those challenges between free agency, the draft, and then getting into camp that you kind of realized, all right, this could be a unit that could be really good this season?
Well, it's a day-by-day process. We did get some new players in, which obviously helps. We, for the most part, got a new defensive staff. There was some guys that were kept from the last one, and most of the guys I have had previous experience with, so that made the transition a little smoother. And the players just kept getting better and better and better, and they're young, so you want them to get better and better. And I still think we can improve going in the next year.
one of those young players. They showed you plenty throughout the broadcast, but one time we didn't get to see it was when Cooper had that pick six. Did you have a chance to talk to him afterwards when, on his birthday, returns an interception for a touchdown? I mean, how special was that for him?
Yeah, it was really special. It was really a big play in that game, obviously. It was just 10-0 at that point, with about, 6-7 minutes to go in the first half. So, 10 points against Kansas City is nothing. And to get that up to 17, and ironically, during the week, he hadn't had an interception yet as a rookie. I told him he was going to get one in this game. I didn't know he'd be a pick six, but he played it well. Kind of fooled Mahomes a little bit on it, and he stepped in there, got it. And he's a punt returner, so he's a good runner when he does get the ball in his hands, and took it to the house. We had some nice blocks, and it was a big, big play in that game.
To dominate them the way you did, and it was dominating. Have you ever a team on your defensive teams ever played like that before, especially to do it in a Super Bowl?
Yeah, I think when you factor in that it was the Super Bowl and against Mahomes and the Chiefs, it's probably right up there with a best performance.
Did you have a chance to, take some things? I know it was your second Super Bowl in New Orleans, which is kind of cool. I mean, did you take some things from that time with San Francisco and utilize it this time around with the Eagles?
I did a little bit with the approach to the game. I felt like with the 49ers back 2012, I guess it was, or 13, we didn't start the game very well and got behind. And I showed the guys some of that, when we first started preparing for the Chiefs, and those guys got the message.
The Super Bowl parade, have you ever seen anything like that before?
No, it was crazy. It's, there had to be 1.5 million people there along the route, and just crazy. And but the Philadelphia fans are passionate. They love the Eagles. It's a great parade route going all the way down Broad Street, so it's kind of like it was made for it. But it was unbelievable how many people came out for that.
Is there any specific moment or fan that you kind of remember from the parade that really stuck out to you in the middle of the whole crowd? Yeah,
there was a couple people that had, I don't know how you say it, they had my picture on these sticks, big picture. So I got off the bus and went over there and spent some time with them.
That's kind of neat. What's the biggest memory you'll take from the season, do you think?
Just that we kept improving, which is, as a coach, what you're looking for. And we were very, very consistent from about week 5 on of playing good. We didn't, we got beat by Washington there late in the season. Kind of a weird game in that we had 5 takeaways, but we still lost. But I think we ended up winning 16 out of the last 17 games, which in the NFL is pretty hard to do.
I know obviously you have a chance to be home for a few days and spend some time here in a community that adores you. They love watching you. We're talking to Coach McHale, and every week they're always watching your press conferences, highlights from the games. I mean, to be back home, how special is it to come back and get to cherish some time with family and friends? Yeah, it's great. I come back and see my mother, who's still living in the same house that I grew up in. She just turned 98 a couple days ago. See other family members, friends, go to Rignacci's and have my favorite food there. It's nice. It's always good to come home, and now that it's just 2 hours away, I'll be back here more often than when I was at other places.
What would Coach Fangio say to you after winning the Super Bowl, and what memory have you ever thought of him even through this time this year?
Yeah, I think I always think of Coach. He was a major influence on me early on. He would just be really proud and happy, and I think those would be his overwhelming feelings.
They kept saying you don't smile a lot. Are you smiling now?
Yeah, it's just the way I am. I don't smile a whole lot. I've kind of gotten that moniker, but that's just who I am.
Congratulations.
Thank
you. Right.
What's it like to win a Super Bowl?
Oh, Jesus. It's satisfying. It's people look at you a little different, but like I said to many people, that people just just look at you a little different. And then, as every day goes by, you kind of realize and appreciate what we accomplished.
Why did you come back to Philly?
Why? Well, I grew up a Philadelphia sports fan. You know, being from here, it's only 2 hours away. So I wanted to basically end my coaching career there, and that will be my last stop in the NFL, whenever that is. And it gets me closer to home, to here. I like Philadelphia. I like the organization. This year's team? Yeah. I can't pick one out. Got 11 guys out there, and they got to function as one. So if you're coachable and you put the team first, good things can happen if you have enough talent. And you know, so that was very satisfying.
What's the energy like during the practices?
It's good. You know, we get out there and compete pretty good. You know, and I wish our practices were a little longer at times. There's only two ways you get better: practice and games. And before you can play good, I always look at practice as the quiz.
When you were with the Bears, was there different energy in practice compared to like when you were in Philly now?
No, it was good there too. My last year in Chicago, we were really good on defense too, and I had good players. It was pretty equal. We practice longer in Chicago than we do in Philly right now, but I would say it was pretty equal.
What would you say was the best executed play by the defense in the Super Bowl?
Best executed play, wow. Well, some of the best executed plays are when they just run and only make a yard or two, you know, and everybody's fitting together and playing it right. But obviously, I think the biggest moment or sequence in the game was when we did get the pick six to make it 17-0. Then you have to go right back out there and get another stop. Too many times I've seen where you score a defensive touchdown and then they come back out and you gosh, we went right back out and stopped them. They stopped us, they got the ball back, and then we picked the next play off and gave our offense the ball, you know, on about the 12 or 13 yard line going in.
How did you prepare your team for the big game?
How do we prepare? Well, you know, it's one of the few games, you have 2 weeks. I think we started practicing the first week, and then Sunday we flew down to New Orleans, had that media day on, it was Monday, I believe. And then we started practicing again in New Orleans on Wednesday. So you kind of had 2 weeks of normal practices when you only have one, but we cut it back a little bit the second week. You know, he has a lot of, obviously this year, great individual accomplishments, but it was all.
What's the best lesson you learned from Coach Fangio?
Best lesson from Coach Fangio? There's a lot of them. I always think, you know, if you want expect something to get done as a coach, you got to emphasize it. If you don't emphasize it, it won't get done. Hard work, practice, playing physical, you know, all the basic tenets of playing good defense haven't changed over the years. And I like to think that's what we did in that Super Bowl game, is we just played with good fundamentals, good assignments, good techniques, and we were good enough talent-wise to play as good as we did. What do you got there, young man?
What does it feel like coaching the Eagles defense?
This year it felt real good. Every year is a new adventure. Philadelphia, the city of Philadelphia likes good defense. They're a hardcore city, so they kind of adopted us that way, and they actually like when we're on the field. At the moment, overwhelmed with both as players and coaches. And in my case, call what I think I.
Give Coach a round of applause. Great job you have these guys. We had a lot of fun watching some of the playoff games. Coach Miles, I know, has a lot of questions for you. But the Packers, Rams,